Hi. Um, Enough about me. Unless you want to know more, most of my life has been combating uh, atrocities against one another. That's rape, incest. Incest is a subject people don't want to hear about. The word itself bothers me. It's creepy, just like insect. I actually prefer insects to people sometimes. That's not really true, but I uh, don't mind nature when it comes to bugs. They serve a purpose. Uh, they can sting and hurt, right? Einstein said, look in nature for answers. And this is how I view the world, through that thinking. So I worked at Rape Victim Services and Spouse Abuse, volunteered first and then was hired on. And I saw, you know, my youngest client was a 3-month-old baby, and my oldest client was a 77-year-old lady, brutally attacked on July 4th. Oh, I'll never forget her. Her, skin was thin, and bruised, hematomas. I was raped 7 times. The first time I was 14. The second sexual abuse was just days later with family members. The husband of one of my sisters put a bowie knife to my throat. He snuck up behind me and put the knife to my throat, his other arm, around me, and let me know he could kill me anytime he wanted to. That's not fun, is it? I'm the word fun, trying to mask and cover my pain and trauma. You can't mask that. Spent my whole life putting on a persona, and that part of me still kind of lingers. I apologize. Izzy, my Tweenie, if you see me looking around and talking to the floor, it's her I'm talking to. Uh, if she barks, I will put her up, but I I don't want to put her in our room. I don't want to be separated from her ever. As much time with her as possible is very important to me. She's 12, 12 on the 3rd of July. I've had her about a year. She was severely abused. Um, when I called her name, she wouldn't respond at all. In fact, she would huddle and shiver and urinate. When I would say, come here, she would hover and shiver and urinate. It took me about a month to get her to let me near her for long periods of time. Today, I've got You can see videos of her on my sites, Facebook and YouTube. Animals, dogs especially, kitties especially, um, have saved me. My dogs growing up were my friends, and so I would not have made it without my animals. I believe that's why animals exist. That's why they're here. We are caretakers of this earth. What an honor. What a beautiful honor. Um, they're healers. They're meant to keep us alive. And we're to treat them with respect. But most of us don't. The killing, the insane killing of animals for food, for high productivity, is not not balanced. There are better ways. I'm not a vegetarian. I have been. What are you doing, Izzy? Um, I want to be. My body wants meat and low iron stuff, and medications weren't working for me. So my doctor said, get back on the red meat. I pray when I eat and thank God, thank the animal for its suffering in life. But I believe that meat can be tainted. That's why Christ said, pray over your food. I don't eat pork. Uh, Pigs are highly intelligent, more intelligent than dogs, if you can believe that. It's true. Anyway, that's why respecting all life is my whole purpose on earth. Jenny taught me that. She didn't have a chalkboard and instruct me. It was in her essence, in her grace. I got a picture of her on Facebook and YouTube when she, after her death experiences, she was holding her hand out. She looked up at me. I had my camera on. She said, "Watch this." And she held her hand out, and this little purple butterfly landed on her hand, and she giggled. And I snapped the photo. I used to, we had picnics out in our backyard, and we had a wild cat, black cat, male, huge. Never saw a cat so big in my life then. And I wanted to be its friend, but it never, didn't like me. Didn't blame it. Understood it. And I went in to get some Oreos. Came back out, and Jenny was way out in the yard, sitting on the grass with the kitty. And he was on his back, rolling like a kitten, while she played with it and giggled. That went on every day for a while until she got very, very ill again. I knew she wouldn't be coming back. Didn't think she would anyway. And the kitty, the black cat, was at our back door, and he had never done that before. And meowed. I opened the door, and over several minutes, he came in looking for her. he looked through the whole house. It was just me home alone and Kitty in there. And he got to the front door sniffing. And I thought, well, I'll do what Jenny did. Because I knew I wanted to be like her. I understood that was my point of being on earth, was to learn her grace. So I put my hand out like this for the cat. And he you know, came up to me, and I went like this to pet it, and bam, dug the nails deep into my hand, and dug into my hand. I had severe lacerations. Whew, poor thing. Is that scared? So got him outside, and I never saw him again after that. I realized it would take me a long time to figure out how Jenny could do these things. Everywhere we went, the nurses and the doctors in the hospital all saw her light like I did. So after her death experiences at age 4, I had to leave her for a while. I don't really remember much in that time without her, away from her. Give me a minute. Oh, sorry. She was in Detroit with her mother. I was just I just moved to Kentucky with my mom. I was 16, and mom said, "Jenny's Jenny's coming here to stay with us a while." Oh, good. The calm. Ooh, the trip to the airport. The van broke down. We were on the side of the road, just near the Louisville airport, and I know the plane that was landing was hers. I knew, and we were going to be late. She was 19 pounds still, 25% of one lung, needed oxygen, needed therapies, cystic fibrosis. Mike's here, I think. Yeah. Cystic fibrosis people need compression, thumping on their lobes of their lungs daily, many times a day, and medications many times a day. And I was worried. I also knew she would be afraid, just being flown by herself. It's unbearable to think about today, still. So we finally got to the airport, late, And I saw the gate where she was at, and I told my mom I was going there. And the floor had tape color directions. Yellow was the direction of where the gate was for her to the terminal. And I ran. I was 16 and ran to her. The lady flight attendant was holding her. Jenny's little gaunt arms around the lady, and her little legs were around the lady with her head down, eyes closed. When she was in that state, she was suffering. She didn't complain, mind you, ever. No trooper. But I knew she was afraid. She was in that state to calm herself. So the lady's eyes met mine, and she was so angry at me. She was livid. I don't blame her. I understood. And I said, our car broke down. Jenny, and calmed her like I always did. Sorry. And we got her back home. My mother was just remarried. And it was up to me to take full care of Jenny, which it was my normal, you know, what I was there for, to help her. So that picture of her, she wanted to wear underwear only. And I said, honey, we were going to go outside and draw. Um, that was what we did. We did sit down things because she couldn't physically do it much else. And we were going to go outside under a tree. That was what we used to do, always did. And she was very hot in that summer weather there, very humid, which we figured, which we saw, that humidity was very hard on her breathing. It's very hard for her there in that environment. But she wanted to wear just underwear, these baggy white underwear. So we were given to for her. And I had my camera for some reason. And when she held her hand out, I, oh, I remember getting the camera. And I don't know why, I just did. And when she said, watch this, I got my camera up and snapped the photograph. And you'll see her body was different. Uh, I I loved going to church. We were Catholic. My mom left the Catholic Church when I was 5, and I was devastated. all my sisters had their Holy Communion and the dress, and I loved catechism. I was always in our family Bible with paintings of Christ there, and his love for children, the paintings. When I was 3, I was drawing Christ's eyes, and my mom noticed I had drawn much detail, the pupils, the iris, everything. And she has always left me in my crib. My head's flat. I have a funky shaped head because I was never held much. So she didn't ever really talk to me or acknowledge me, only in anger, frustration. So I remember drawing the eyes just because I loved Christ and those eyes back then. Uh, my memory in heaven, I didn't remember it at 3, but I must have on the subconscious spiritual level, because I had this urge to draw Christ's eyes all the time. In fact, I tore off the picture of Christ on our Bible. It was glued on, and I had to have it. And I tore it off and kept it under my pillow for a long time. My mom asked, "What happened to the picture?" And yeah, so I took that picture of Jenny in the underwear, not consciously remember my memory. I had buried my memory of being in heaven and Christ telling me she's willing to go for you. And that Jenny was in pink light. She was skeletal, wearing white underwear. Consciously, I didn't realize why I was taking that photograph. But now I understand why. During her stay with us there in Kentucky, we got a call that my sister had disappeared. I won't go into her life. That's her story to tell, or her right to tell her own version, respectfully. But my mother was, well, angry. I was not. I was happy. I was able to nurture Jenny. Yes. But the weather there was not healthy for her. So my mother, unbeknownst to me, called her grandparents there in Michigan, and made the deal to come get Jenny so she could get, well, we also did not have a children's hospital or a hospital that could meet Jenny's needs. So I understood that decision. At the time, I understood very much why. My heart did not understand at all. I kept, I was nonverbal most of my young life. And my mother was a narcissist, and told me at 18 that, well, she treated me differently than my other sisters. The rubber broke. That's why I'm here. And she told me she knew I was a bitch at age 1. Yeah. And always treated me like that. And narcissistic parents do a number on you. So speaking, I internalized everything, all the pain. Jenny left us that I will get some of these dates wrong. I I believe it was, yeah, it was like August when she left, August of 77. And she had her birthday, a 5.5-year-old birthday celebration. So I figured they were giving her an early birthday. Her birthday was in March. This was this was in September of 70. Excuse me, I get dates wrong. Anyway, Jenny died October 16th, 1978, without me. Without me. Her other grandparents took very good care of her. And she got to be with her father, who was a good guy. Just, immature, but a good man. They brought her casket down. Little white casket. I went up to her at the funeral home. She's wearing her favorite color, pink, and her favorite dress, pink. And I went to calm her. I just was what we did, what I did for her. And when I touched her chest, it crackled like tissue paper. Like it was breaking. I had, calmed her this way all the time. I was doing that, and then I like that and freaked, freaked quietly, internalized it. But I was very upset. Uh, when I looked down, I had white makeup on my dress. My fingerprints of her white, white makeup. She's buried in Owensboro, Kentucky. I have my first, well, I won't get into that. I wanted to let people know about Jenny because she's not just here. I feel her all the time now, but her life, I want her life to give meaning to everyone. I'm trying to live up to her very advanced soul, very simple, graceful. Oh, I wanted to tell you when I took her to church, she asked to go to church. We both enjoyed church. And I sat up front, not all the way up front, I was too shy for that, but, and she always clung to me. And she was starting a coughing fit in the cathedral there in Owensboro. Beautiful place. And people were looking at me and very, very mad at me. I mean, I did not feel compassion from anyone. It was, I guess it was their fear. They thought I was doing something wrong, bringing a sick child like that to church, but I thought it was the best place for us both, you know. And she wanted to be there. God bless her. We were very much like. I, her coughing fit started, and she would vomit, so I knew I better get her out quickly. And while she's having her coughing fit, we took care of her and went back in, and people were very mad at me. I could feel it. I'm an empath, uh, and I feel stuff. I'm able to deal with negativity now differently. I've learned, and I would have handled it much differently now. So yeah, yes, that's my baby. I did not give birth to her. My children don't understand that. My closeness with Jenny. I've not been able to talk about her, as you can see. It's difficult. So I appreciate your listening. It's therapeutic for me to do this, and I have to get word out about her. Yeah, very important. Jenny, in my life, has meaning for everybody. It's about suffering and getting through it, coming out the other side better, stronger, finding that peace that Jenny had and sharing it. That's all I care about. All right. Thank you. I hope everybody out there is doing good. We'll get through this rough spot we're having here globally. I promise we will. Thank you.